Good morning. There was a very holy and devout deacon who one time was in church praying all alone when all of a sudden an angel of the Lord appeared right in front of him. And the angel said, "Deacon, you have so much faith that God has decided to reward you. The Lord will give you a choice of one of these. You can either have unlimited wisdom, unlimited wealth, or unlimited beauty." And the deacon thought about it for a minute and then said, "I choose wisdom." "Well done," the angel said, and disappeared. And immediately the deacon was filled with wisdom. Just a few weeks later, there was a meeting of all the deacons in the diocese. And of course, everybody had heard about this. So they all clamored around him and said, Deacon, please give us some words of wisdom." And he thought about it for a minute, and then he said, "I should have taken the money." Rarely in the cycle of Sunday readings do we have such a strong connection between our first reading and the gospel. In our first reading from Isaiah, we see God giving the people of Israel a sign. "The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel." God is with us. And then we turn to our gospel reading from Matthew, and we see the fulfillment of this very same prophecy. Mary was betrothed to Joseph, which meant that they were married, but they weren't yet living together. So for her to become pregnant meant she must have committed adultery. And that's why Joseph decided that he would divorce her, but so as not to give her any shame, to do so quietly. And that's when the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. And the angel said to Joseph, "Joseph, Mary has not been unfaithful to you, but actually completely faith-filled to God." And this was done to fulfill that prophecy that we saw from Isaiah. "Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel." God is with us. God is with us. Who exactly are the us? You see, that us doesn't refer to Sacred Heart Parish as a group, or even the Diocese of Syracuse, or even the Catholic Church as a whole. It actually means God is with every one of us in an individual and deeply personal way. And that is what brings joy into our hearts, into the very center of everything that we are, into our souls. I think that some of us, sadly, don't really feel joy. And I think some people don't feel joy because they don't actually understand what joy really is. Most people think that joy is the same as happiness, and it's not. And many people also misunderstand the source of joy. They think that joy comes from the outside of them. It doesn't. It can't. You cannot get joy from eating your favorite food. You can't get joy from engaging in your favorite activity. And you can't even get joy from your relationships that you have with your family and friends. Now, you can get happiness from all of those things, and maybe even a deep sense of happiness. But you can't get joy from them because all of those things come from the outside of us. Joy doesn't start on the outside and somehow work its way through you into your soul. Joy starts in your soul, in your soul and then radiates outwards like light from a fire burning deep within you. The source of all joy, the source of real joy is God. It's God. Joy is a gift from the Holy Spirit. The source of all joy is God. My wife and I have been parishioners here for over 29 years. And in that nearly 3 decades of being here, I cannot remember a time when I have witnessed, experienced such great joy in Sacred Heart and also that Divine Mercy. And I think many of you here would agree with me that there is a very strong presence of joy here is undeniable. You want proof? I'll give you proof. Our parish reports, our strategic plan. You know these pamphlets that Father's been waving around for the last few weeks? Have you actually read them? Have you actually read them? I'm not saying glanced at them. I'm not saying look them over. Have you actually read them? Have you seen everything that we've been doing? The list goes on and on. One thing after the next. It's amazing. This long, long list of very wonderful accomplishments that we've been doing here can only be done by a people of joy. People who are sad, people who are angry, people who just don't care. They're not doing any of this, but we are. This is all of you. It's not the clergy. It's not the staff. It's all of us working together. This is proof beyond a reasonable doubt that there is a growing movement of joy that's happening in this parish. And it's growing in each one of us, individually, one by one. Some people, I know, some people don't have a sense of joy. Some of us here, I know, honestly, they don't really feel much joy. We all have joy at different levels, at different intensities, and that's okay. Because the question is not what is your level of joy at this moment, but it's we all need to individually grow our joy. And let me be clear, having joy does not mean that we aren't going to have problems. Having joy does not mean that we're not going to be sad or stressed or become ill or have to grieve the loss of a loved one. Joy is not a shield that makes sure nothing bad happens in our lives. But, because joy is not happiness, you can have joy even when you aren't feeling happy. Let me say that again. You can have joy even when you're not feeling happy. Joy is an incredible grace. It's an incredible power given to us by God, but nurtured by our own efforts to help us get through those bad times that we all have, to get through them with a focus on the one thing that actually matters. That baby down there in the manger. You see, The reason to have joy is because there is a God who already knows you. He already knows you and has loved you to death. Your life has meaning. And everything that you do matters because you matter to the God of the universe. Jesus, our Emmanuel, came to bring us hope and joy beyond our greatest expectations, to breathe a new life within us that even exists with the deadliness of doubt, to bring direction into a chaotic world, but most of all, to empower us with his joy and love. Is there anything else that could bring us more hope? Is there anything else that can bring us more joy?